Okay, guys, we're going to go do a little interview here with somebody I was told would be interesting to interview. One of our members said that he has a friend who lives here. Wow, these are very nice villas here. Beautiful. Wow, very nice places. So anyway, I'm looking for the address. Wow, very nice. This guy, he's been here for a while, so he should be a wealth of information. So let me check the number again real quick before I take you on too long of a journey here. Okay, let's see, it should be right up here. Should be this one right here. Okay, so let's go in and talk to Harvey. JC here again for retirecheap.asia. That's the name of my website. And I'm here to interview a couple people that one of our members in our membership site, his name is Todd, as we know him in the membership site Techno. He said, hey, if you're down in Hua Hin, you got to look up my friend Harvey. So guess what? I'm here talking to Harvey and his lovely wife,
Mali.
Mali. Nice to meet you both.
Nice meeting you, JC.
And obviously your wife, Mali, is from Thailand, but where are you from?
I'm originally from Newfoundland, which is on the east coast of Canada.
Oh, wow.
But currently I have a small business in Vancouver, so I've been living in Vancouver part-time since 1993.
It's a big difference from the east and the west coast, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And the climate's very different as well. Newfoundland, a lot colder, very remote. Grew up in a little fishing village, similar to Kautakya, and lots of fish and lots of fresh seafood.
Around the water.
Around the water.
Gee, what a surprise that you ended up back around the water again.
Yeah, the ocean draws us back.
Yeah, but Vancouver's on the water as well, so
yeah, it's Vancouver's
beautiful place too.
Have you been to Vancouver?
No, I haven't. I almost went a couple times. I actually lived in Portland.
Yeah,
for
the
a while.
climate's very
yes,
similar.
The Pacific Northwest area is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Vancouver is, I think, the nicest city in the world to live in, but I enjoy Hua Hin as well.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper in Vancouver than here, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
And that brings up a great question. What prompted you were going back and forth?
Yeah, well, I'm actually still traveling back and forth. I actually fly back to Vancouver on Monday.
Oh, really?
And I still have a business there, but I spend 6 to 8 weeks here and 3 or 4 weeks in Vancouver. And
it's not hard to take.
The flight is a little long.
Yeah, the flight. I'm from the East Coast of the United States, and it's about 30 hours of travel, so I don't do it often.
So I met Marley here in Bangkok about almost 13 years ago, I guess, and during my stopovers here, I would come over every 6 weeks or so, spend a month, and we would travel around Thailand, learning some of the culture and the different places, and we came down here to Hua Hin a number of times and really fell in love with it. And then 7 years ago, we decided to buy a home here. And
I also want to congratulate you on something you just said, because so many people, it's sort of like the news back home. We usually generally hear the bad things, not the good things. And for your relationship to last as long as it has is a great example for people, that there's many people over here with great relationships and stuff, but people only hear of the bad ones, so I want to congratulate you as well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, you're right. I was watching a program on TV a couple of months ago on the bad ones, where people come over, they get ripped off all their money, and that's what you hear about.
That's right. Bad news sells.
Bad news sells. That's true. And I find that the Thai people are so friendly and so down to earth, and you get bad people as well, but you get that in any society.
In any society, that's correct.
But the Thai people, I find, are, where I grew up in the east coast of Canada, Canada is considered Newfoundlanders as the friendliest people in the world.
Wow.
But when I came to Thailand, I found the Thai people friendlier than where I grew up in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we get along so well. We have similar backgrounds and friendliness. I grew up in a small fishing community where we were poor, but nobody went hungry, and it's the same thing here in Thailand. People are poor, but they never go hungry.
Machaktinai. Where do you come from?
Pachinburi.
Further to the north?
Bangkok.
East of Bangkok.
East of Bangkok, okay. Because I didn't want to say what I was going to say, unless I didn't want to offend her. I've noticed, and this is a generalization, of course, because we're talking about friendliness, but it seems to me, as a generalization, the further north I go, the nicer people get. And I don't know if it's the heat as you go further south or what it is, or the mixture of other cultures that aren't completely Buddhist mixing in as well. But
like I say, we never spent much time
in the south.
In the south or north of Bangkok. I mean, she lives east of Bangkok and in a small farming community. Her dad was a rice farmer, and very, very basic style of living that most farmers have.
I'll give you two examples real quick, because I'm going to do videos. I've already shot them, and after we finish the series on Hua Hin, they're going to come up on Krabi and Ao Nang. And I showed some bungalows, and I showed up at the bungalow and asked could I see the bungalows, and it was okay if I did the video, and the lady said, yeah, but you got to wait. So she wanted to finish playing her cards. So I waited, and when they finished, so she comes out and she shows me. And I said, well, I'm not going to stay here, but I'm going to show the video to a lot of people so it'll help your business, because I could tell she got really mad at me and I wasn't going to take the video, the bungalow.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm going to show this to people and you're going to get a lot of business from this. And I said, that's good, right? She goes, no, and slams the door. And I went, wow, this is amazing to have that kind of interaction, because it's an anomaly for me.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
And then I was also in a restaurant, I had a great restaurant. It was on the beach, and for 150 baht, they had pasta and pizzas, great variety. I said, this is really great. I'm going to have a pizza and talk about it and give these people some business as well. Well, it was like 11:45, and it's a fairly big restaurant, and you got the heavy wooden furniture. And they're adjusting all the tables and chairs, sliding these things across the tile floor, and it's really loud. And, I was thinking, well, they should do this before they open for business. And so, my food came, and these things are screeching across, really loud. And so I turned to the guy and said, excuse me, I said, it's sort of loud to do this. And he got mad at me for saying that, and he started making him do even more. And I went, yeah. I said, this is. I'm not used to that. This is an aberration.
Well, yeah,
but it becomes more common. Yeah. And my association is the further south I go, the more common this becomes.
That's interesting, because what was it? 2 years ago, we had some friends come over from Canada for a month vacation, and we went down just north of Phuket. We stayed there for 2 nights over New Year's Eve, and we actually had a similar. Like, we checked into this hotel. It was a 4-star hotel, very, very nice. And we got in the room, and there was no water. It was just a dribble. And so we went and talked to the front desk, and the owner was there, and they said, well, okay, we'll change your room when you come. We were going out for dinner, came back, and still they didn't do anything. And I called the manager, and I said, what kind of business are you running here? This is crazy. I got no running water. He said, that's tough.
Now there's some customer service, right?
And he said, if you don't like it, move. So I moved.
I see that.
They gave us our money back.
Well, I'm going to drop that subject now, but I think that was sort of a confirmation.
Yeah, that's the first. I've never related.
It's rare that happens. I mean, it's common in some countries and stuff that people just have that attitude.
Yeah.
But here it's such an aberration that it shocks me when it happens.
That's the first time it's ever happened to me as well, and that maybe it is.
I don't know, but it just seems to be too prevalent for me to go further.
Well, I find the people here in Hua Hin are very friendly.
I do too.
Yeah, and
I do too.
And I think a lot of the culture here is a little different because the king has his palace here.
I agree with you. There's a social requirement.
Yeah, there is.
And same with Chiang Mai.
And they seem to keep the districts a lot cleaner, and they're much more apt to go out and do things to make their stores look much nicer.
It's a royal family city, you know.
It is,
and it was one of the first places that there was actually a hotel built when the train was put in. This was one of the first stops, and it became a social.
Yeah, it was for the elitists.
For the elite.
Yeah, from Bangkok.
And did you know? We'll talk about golf in a few minutes because I know you're into golf. It was one of the first places there was a golf course in Thailand.
Yeah, we're actually going to play there on Friday.
Are you really? It's got a lot of history here.
Yeah, the Royal Hua Hin Golf Course. Yeah, it's the first one in Thailand, and a lot of people really like it. It's an old course. The trees are very mature. You know, some of the trees there are almost 100 years old now, I guess. And it's
just coming up here from Cha Am, I saw there's a place called Springfield, and it actually says it was a course designed by Nicholas.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Well, a lot of the courses here are designed by some of the top famous golfers. And I think there's the one at Banyan. I don't know. There's a couple of new courses of Black Mountain.
I see the sign for that on the way here.
That's now. I think it's it's the #1 course here in Thailand, the best course.
Is it really?
Named #1, and Banyan, which is 10 kilometers from here, is named #2.
I've been to Blue Canyon in Phuket. That's supposed to be fairly good.
Yeah. But these ones, they have some PGA, LPGA championships here at Black Mountain, and the courses. I mean, there are.
Is this the best place for golf in Thailand, in your opinion?
Well, we've never golfed over in Pattaya. Apparently, there's a lot of really nice courses over in Pattaya as well. One of the problems here now is in the last 4 or 5 years, there's more and more Europeans coming in, so the prices are gradually going up. So
it's happening in Chiang Mai as well.
Yeah, so the prices now.
And they're making the courses nicer
they are
because of the demand, and then of course the prices are going up as well.
And like for Black Mountain, for example, is the most Black Mountain and Banyan are the two most expensive here in Hua Hin, and you're looking at about 4,000 baht per round, which is for.
Is that including the caddy?
No, well, it includes the caddy, but you normally have to give them a tip as well.
Sure.
So it's another. Some people give them 300, 400, 500 baht tip. So it'll run you. By the time you have some water and stuff on the course, it'll cost you 4,500 to 5,000.
Okay, so there's the high end.
That's the high end.
For us hackers, what can we get away with as far as some place that they're not going to harass us for major big divots and. What does it cost for?
Well,
what can I get away with and just go out and practice my game?
Well, there's a 9-hole course, Army course, about 50 kilometers south of here, and it's not in very good shape, but it's great for learning.
Yeah,
and that's where Molly and I learned.
Oh, really?
And it's golf by donation.
Really?
So we would go there, and Molly used to take some fruits and vegetables and things down to the lady, and we used to golf there 9 holes for the two of us for 150 baht.
Is it still like that?
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to give me directions.
Yeah, it's right down. You know where Dolphin Bay is?
No.
Well, probably not. It's right at the end of Dolphin Bay, but yeah, I can give you the directions.
We'll talk about that. Further south.
Yeah, as farther south, it's past Pronbury. And so you can go down along by you can either go Pechakesham Road, Highway 4, and then turn off and go down. or you can go down
Near
London.
Wing 51 or down there or someplace?
The which?
Wing 51, the Air Force base that's near Pak Nam Pran?
Oh, that's
No, Almanau. Almanau.
No, no.
Almanau. Before.
before up
Okay.
now 300 ยอด
so yeah, it's somewhere, yeah, the 300
ปาก
peaks.
น้ำปราณ 300 ยอด
Oh, okay, not that far then.
Yeah, and well, there's another Army course that's right in Cronbury on the right-hand side, and it's an 18-hole course. It's not in great shape, but during the rainy season, it's good.
And what does that cost?
And I think a membership is, you can buy a membership for 8,000 baht for the year, I think.
Oh, wow.
You mean ธนรัฐ
Yeah. Is it 8,000 baht for the year?
5,000
5,000 baht for the
That's great.
and then it's only a couple hundred baht per round, plus your caddy fee. So you can golf probably for, once you get your membership, for about probably 500 or 600 baht a day.
That's cool.
Well, yeah, which is real, and it's a full 18-hole.
Yeah. How about a par 3, chip and putt?
There is one par 3 here, 9 holes, but it's out of Black Mountain, and it'll cost you.
Expensive because it's
Well,
part of Black Mountain.
it's actually not that bad. It's
1,200
1,200 baht for 18 holes. You do the 9
Do
holes
circle
twice,
twice.
but they have different tees.
Oh, for the second round, you can tee off from a different play. Oh, that's cool.
And the average is probably 105 yards to 160 yards. So and it's absolutely spectacular.
Is it really?
If you go out there, I mean, it's like this oasis in the desert. Like there's all around the sand and dust, and you got this green 9-hole, and it's got water. Every hole every tee that you play off, you got to shoot over water.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. Oh no! I don't know. I buy the wrong balls. They're magnets for water. I don't know. My balls are attracted to water. I swear. I can hit it that way in the water. It's this way. It's going to go in the water.
Same with her. She gets close to water, and
I've spent more on balls in one round than I did on the course piece.
yeah. But out of Black Mountain as well, they got a new water park out there as well, which is for kids. And
Oh, that's cool. Family could go. The kids could play while they play around and go. Oh, that's awesome.
And it's only 500 or 600 baht for the day
kids.
per
the kid
child.
300
So is it 300? And adults are 500 or 600.
But it'd be a way to cool off after the round of golf because, as we know, it's not exactly cool weather to play golf here.
No, it's
Speaking of weather, so isn't it hot here for you coming from the north up in? I mean, your summers last, I think, about 2.5 days.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. It depends on where you are. If you're on the prairies, then in central Canada, then sure. But in Vancouver, they only get 2 or 3 days of snow a year.
That's right.
But in the mountains, like Lee was in Vancouver at the end of February, beginning of March, and it was the first time she's seen snow. I took her up to Grouse Mountain above Vancouver, and
Beautiful.
And they had about, I guess in American terms, there's about 20 feet of snow.
Wow.
It was about 5-6 meters on the ground.
Wow, it's a lot of snow.
and it's all.
Sanuk, man.
สวย
Don't want someone Sanuk. More than 2 days, it's not fun anymore.
But I mean, there's lots of things to do here as well. I mean, it's hot, but I go out and jog every day, so I love the heat. I don't like the humidity, but I mean
Humidity's like Florida.
Yeah, and like we're only about a mile from the beach here, so about 1.5 kilometers. So I'll jog down to the beach, and if you get a low tide, you can jog along the beach forever.
Yeah.
I mean, going south from here.
I left Cha'am yesterday and went all the way to Springfield and back from Cha'am.
Yeah.
And I think that was 2.5 kilometers each, 3 kilometers each way, and I was
On the
not
beach,
even.
yeah.
And I could have kept going. I think I did. Can I go all the way to
Yes.
Hua Hin?
Well, like
Yes.
On the beach?
Yes, yeah, you can.
I
Yeah.
could actually
Yeah.
jog all the way.
Yeah, and like all the beaches here, it's really a sort of a really weird. Like you get about 6 to 8 kilometers of beach, and then you get an outcropping of a rock, big point of rock, and then you go around that, and there's another
Beach
8 or
again.
10 kilometers of beach, and it's like going south from here. It's about 500 kilometers of sandy beaches
Wow.
heading south.
เอา มะนาวเหรอ
Yeah.
allow that
Yeah.
All the way
Oh.
from here down.
All the way
beach,
down to,
right?
to southern Thailand, it's beaches all the way. And it's
And a lot of them are undeveloped.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope, hopefully we'll go do some videos about living in some of those places, but first I'm trying to cover places that have an infrastructure that make it. We just talked about that for the few minutes we talked before we started the video, about this isn't a big jump or leap in some place like here for a foreigner coming over. But
No.
some of those other places where it's pretty remote.
It is, yeah.
We'd have to come here to go shopping or for foreign restaurants.
Exactly. Yeah, even if you live in Prawnbury, which is 20 kilometers south of here, they don't have the same infrastructure
No,
as we
not
have
at
here.
all.
And apparently, I think it was last year, there was somebody had done some travel information, and Hua Hin came up as the best place in the world to retire.
Really? Chiang Mai, I've never seen it on the list. It's
Yeah.
always been Chiang Mai, but I have a
Yeah,
feeling
yeah.
because of the smoky season now, it's getting a bit overcrowded. There's traffic jams and stuff like that. I think it's going to start slipping a little bit as the place. It's always on the list of places to retire, and one of the reasons is because of the cost. It's
True,
very
yeah,
cheap
yeah.
on the-
And the cost in Hua Hin is a little higher than other
What
areas.
do
I
you-
think.
But you've never spent time in Chiang Mai, but
No.
So you can't give me like a comparison.
Well,
percent?
I think Phuket is more expensive.
Sure.
And Hua Hin, I think, is second to Phuket on cost.
And then in cost would be Chiang Mai even
Yeah,
lower.
yeah.
So it's in the middle.
It is, and so it's. But here, I mean, you can live here still very inexpensive. Like if you go down to buy your food at the local market here, like we eat out a lot, but
Everybody does here. It's too easy.
But we go down to the market, and then for 200 baht, you can buy enough food for 4 people.
Yeah.
You bring it home. Some of it is ready-made. Some of it you prepare. So for $6 or $8, you can feed 4 people, and so you can still live here reasonably inexpensively. I mean.
Now you were thinking. You told me briefly that you were thinking about before settling here, living in Bangkok. What is the price comparison in your?
Bangkok is more expensive house-wise. I think the price when we bought here was now 7 years ago, and the price here was probably a third less than it was in Bangkok,
Really?
probably at that time.
And you're not slumming here. I can tell you that.
No, it's very nice. It's I mean, and it's
Maybe I'll pan. Maybe I'll just pan the outside area here before I leave because it's very beautiful. We have
well,
a
it's-
very serene setting here.
Well, it is, that's what we liked about it. We looked at a number of homes here, and we drove down the street, really nice and quiet and peaceful.
Yeah, when I turned down on the end of the corner, I went, "Wow, this is nice."
And right behind us, we have what's it called? What Put Chayo? We have a big temple, and you come out here at night and have a glass of wine. And around some evenings, around 7 o'clock, you hear the monks chanting in the background, and it's so quiet and peaceful. And you say, "Oh, must have died and gone to heaven." But it is very,
Yeah, I try
very
and bring up the downsides of living here too, to give it a balanced
Yeah.
perspective. But I can tell you, there's not a lot of the downsides. I mean, some of them are a little bit irritating sometimes, but I've always said it's a double-edged sword. So some of the things that bother people are also some of the reasons I live here, and that is more flexibility in rules and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, and can things like flexibility in rules cause more accidents on the highway? Absolutely. But if you pay attention, and a lot of the accidents are people doing stupid stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah,
see the
yeah.
stupid stuff.
And it's not only
And
the
so
type.
that's factored into
Yeah.
those figures. If
Yeah.
you pay attention and you're on your game, A game all the time.
Totally
it's safer.
agree with you.
But it's so the feeling of more freedom. I think it would be that you're on a divided highway and you want to go down the wrong side. 100, 200 meters instead of going a mile or all the way around. You can do that here.
Yeah.
It's perfectly acceptable because nobody wants to go all the way down and turn around.
No, that's true, and it's like that all over Thailand. And I find a lot of times, I say to people that come over for a visit, and like I drive in Bangkok and whatnot, and say, how can you drive here? But the Thai drivers are very aggressive, but they're normally fairly good drivers. But if you don't,
And they're patient.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
even the ones that are speeding by you, when it gets to a place where you're stopped or you got to pull, they'll wait for you. You
Yeah.
got to pull in or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like they're not laying on their horns, and there's no road rage really, to speak of. And
no, there isn't. I mean, the only road rage you see here I think, is from foreigners.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've said it before. I actually did a video on YouTube. Foreigners, please don't honk your horn. Because
Yeah.
when I hear somebody laying on the horn, I turn my head and I know what I'm going to say because we have this thing that we have this thing about space that we own our space.
Yeah.
Don't come into my space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually had problems going back home because I'll turn a half a block in front of somebody. We're here. I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're laying on their horn all the way that half a block, catching up to me to tell me I invaded their space and they
Yeah.
have the right of way.
Yeah.
We're here. It's perfectly normal. If there's that other lane next to them is open, if the person turning knows that person can move into the other lane. The person coming knows that they can move in. And so everybody just moves
Yeah,
into
and-
their own little space and keeps going. It's not a
you know,
problem.
during rush hour, a 2-lane street becomes a 4 or 5-lane street.
Yeah, until oncoming cars come, and then those other people let these other people that took up the other two oncoming slide over a little bit, and
It's pretty. Well, I've said here, like if you don't drive the way that the Thai drivers drive, you'll get in an accident daily.
It's
Because
true.
you gotta drive the way that they drive.
You
And
have
it's-
to.
And it's just
to go with the
part of life.
flow.
Yeah,
If you don't go with the flow, you're
Yeah,
in trouble.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
I've
but-
always said, make everything you do, every move, whether it's walking across the street, on a motorbike, or in the car, slow and deliberate.
Yeah, yeah.
So people know what your intentions are. And it's like diving, through a school of fish. You don't ever touch the fish. They're always going around you, just close enough. And that's
Yeah.
sort of the way it is here. We
Yeah.
all are working on a small, working on centimeters here. But it all works if they know your intention and what you're trying to do, they let you do it,
Yeah.
and there's not a problem. It's with that sudden stop or that sudden move that throws them off, and then you have a
Yeah,
problem.
you do get frustrated sometimes when people.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are a lot of times very fast drivers. I mean, like the speed limit through town is supposed to be 60 kilometers, and most people go through it 100, 110.
Yeah. Another thing I found that one of my pet peeves, that sort of bothers me is the last time I was going to Almanau. It was during the holidays, and people wanted to go down the shoulder. We were coming up on, I think it was a checkpoint, and so the traffic's backing up, and of course there's still that shoulder, empty shoulder. So the privileged few think that they're just going to run all the way down there and then cut in at the last minute and make all of us wait longer. And that's the kind of thing that sort of bothers me. It's like, get in line like everybody else. But the social status
Yeah,
here
yeah.
is depending on the kind of car they have and stuff. I'm privileged, I can do that, and everybody says okay. And
Well,
that kind of thing, I grind my teeth a little bit, but other than that,
Well, we used to drive a lot in Bangkok on the raised
this
expressways.
is like
Yeah.
being out in the country.
You get in the 3-lane highways, and there's a curb lane here and there's a curb lane there, and there's cars going by on either side on the curb.
Yeah.
And but that's the way it's done, and you accept it, and you drive the way that you just pull in and follow them.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, go with the flow.
Go with
as
the
in
flow.
Rome.
Yeah,
Do as the
exactly.
Romans do. So we've talked about some of the things, but what really attracted you to Thailand as opposed to some of the other places that have good golfing?
My wife.
Yeah, well, that's a great reason.
I came here on a holiday in 2000, Christmas 2001, and I met Molly January 1st, I guess it was 2002, and it's been great ever since. And
Not to offend any of the people back home or anything, what do you see as the difference in relationships between men and women here as opposed to back home? I mean, you could have married and brought a wife here. What is the difference between the relationship between men? And what do you find that is more fulfilling of the needs you have that you get fulfilled?
Again, like I was married before in Canada, and I find the people here are more caring and more loving, and they're more concerned about things that are happening and for your well-being, and I think it's part of their upbringing through Buddhism. I think here the way that they live is by the Buddhist teachings, but it's not really a religion in my mind. It's a way of life.
True.
And I find that spans all through the Thai society here. And that's
Yeah,
why,
people don't want me to say this, but as far as the religion itself, people don't really understand Buddhism here, all the precepts and stick to them.
Yeah.
And it isn't like that, but it permeates the culture.
it does, absolutely. Yeah.
They might not know exactly what all those teachings of Buddha were, you know, and they don't listen so much to the monks anymore, you know. But it permeates their society, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think it is a good thing, and unfortunately, I think things are changing here as well as country becomes more wealthy and people become more busy and
It's a big middle class society here.
yeah, and
consumerism is rampant.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, I think in North America and Europe, same thing. I mean, you go back 100 years ago, the family unit was very close. Now the husband's working, the wife is working, the kids come home from school and they have to prepare their own dinners, and you never have a family gathering where, like when we go home to Molly's village, I mean, they eat together. And
sure. It's very social. This is a very social country.
Yeah. And
that permeates everything as well.
And I think that's the big difference I find between, married life in Canada compared to married life here with a Thai person.
People always ask me, Harvey, is like, aren't I afraid of doing these videos and stuff, of coming and changing this culture? And I always say, my hope is that the foreigners come over and we adopt their culture.
I totally agree.
And I really do think it's why we come.
Yeah, it is.
And so why come and try and make them be like what you left?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense to me that people would do that. And some come just for the financial aspect of it, and those are the ones on the horn and stuff. This is cheap, but I hate it, you know, and they bitch every day about something, you know. And I asked them, well, why are you here? All you do is complain, you know. Well, it's cheap. I said, that's not a good reason. You should go home.
And
you can live in a trailer in the woods somewhere.
I mean, it's a lot of people that like I tell a lot of my friends now, they've never been into Southeast Asia, and I tell them, to come to Thailand, and it'll be such an experience for them.
Yeah.
And everybody that has come and gone back, and they can't believe, it's the culture, the climate, the whole feeling here. A lot of people think. And I think
they still think that they're in rice fields and rice paddies with huts.
And they think it's really dangerous here. They think, you get murdered, you get mugged, and you get more than that downtown Vancouver.
I just, and I'm sure they're going to see the video. Just went through this with somebody on YouTube, and they got on there and said, I was there for this many years, and and they went down this list of all these bad things. And I said, okay, so none of these happen in your home country. Why don't you tell me, let's give a balanced perspective and tell me all the bad things about your home country. Not just bad things, because bad things happen everywhere.
Everywhere, exactly.
And they didn't do that. They just went on again about how bad things were. And so it's one of those things where, yeah, there is a downside here. And it's like the traffic and stuff we've talked about. There are things here. But if you compare, because bad things happen everywhere, compare the good side, the upside, with the downside. The upside weighs out much heavier.
Much heavier. I totally agree with you. And a lot of people think, and I think some of our embassies actually do Thailand a disservice. Like, for example, if you go on, I think our Canadian embassy website, they talk about
travel warnings.
Yeah, all these travel warnings. Up near the Thai-Cambodian border. Southern Thailand is a little different. That's definitely
it's my no-fly zone,
and we've never gone down there either. So that's definitely an area. But that's not Thailand.
There's about 3 places on my no-fly zones here, and a lot of it has to do with. One is the South, which has nothing to do with us.
No.
The other one is there's a couple places where money has made us targets. And I won't mention those places. They're on my no-fly zone, and I don't want to do a disservice to them and have people angry at me.
I understand.
But when you go there, it's open season on us. And because they perceive a foreigner as
Yeah, anybody
target for
anybody
money
that's a
and-
foreigner
yeah.
must have money. Yeah.
And so I stay away from those
Yeah.
places. I don't recommend them for foreigners to
Yeah.
go retire
Yeah.
because I think they're more dangerous there,
Yeah.
and the cost is higher as well.
Yeah.
As,
Yeah.
for the most part. It
but
doesn't
they-
feel like you're in Thailand in those places anymore, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you live in Vancouver, there's areas downtown that you avoid. I mean, so it's no different. I mean, in every other country, I think from a safety perspective, I feel as safe or more safe here as I do in Vancouver, and so there's really no difference in my opinion. And it's great here.
So the upsides of living here is the culture, the people.
The cost.
The cost is great.
I mean, you look at the cost of things here. I mean, like it must be our son.
Big rats.
The big rats.
Yeah, and
But
Oh, my son,
yes, sir.
yeah, he's
he have English school.
he's learning English.
Oh.
But he's
สวัสดีครับสบายดีไหมอ่าพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม
You speak
นิดหน่อยเหรอ
A little bit, huh?
A little bit.
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Zach. Zach.
Nice to meet you. ยินดีที่ได้รู้จักครับ
ยินดีที่ได้รู้จัก
Yeah. Do you like to?
You too.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Very good. Do you like to speak English?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Very
Yeah, he's
good.
he's finished 2 years at university. He's actually taken photography.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he really loves photography.
คนนี้ก็
Still photos or video?
Video.
Video.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to talk.
Yeah, he was going to university in Petcheburi, which is north of.
I have a great idea for a 1-minute video I want to do, but I need Thai people to direct it and put it together for me. That I think will go viral on YouTube because it's fun. It's a fun. And so what I'm looking for is somebody in the university that needs a project that I can give them this and oversee it, but let them do it because it's a very fun. I'll tell you about it when
Yeah,
we're
well,
off
tell
camera
it
because
Zach would.
I don't want to spoil it for the YouTube viewers.
Yeah.
But it's something I've thought about for a year. I think it's really
Yeah. Well, him
and it
his-
reflects our culture.
Yeah, him and his he's got a lot of friends that are in the program, and he's starting he didn't like the university completely in Petcheburi. Now he's going to Stanford here in Hua Hin, out by Palm Hills Golf Course.
Bilingual school?
Two language.
Bilingual school.
English Thai.
English and Thai.
Yeah.
Is it expensive? Paying money.
Really.
It's all relative.
Yeah. It's all relevant. For here it would be expensive, but
For here it would
back
be
home.
expensive. For back home it would be very, very inexpensive. And,
ไป
so
เตรียมตัวไปเรียน
Couple Chaplin golf, Mike?
No.
No, he doesn't like to play golf.
no.
So, anything else that we can share while I have you here? Your opinions or thoughts about people
Well,
coming
again,
over to hang out
think-
over here?
I think this
Come and
area,
try it, right?
I mean, if somebody, if you're even on a fixed income here, I think you can still live very comfortably. Like rents are like our neighbor here. He's got a couple of apartments down on Soy 116, and you can rent those per month for $300-400 a month.
$300 or $400. So
And
is that
one bedroom with a
about 10,000 or
yeah,
so?
about 12,000 baht a month. And
What's the cheapest rent you've seen here?
well, I've seen some rooms in Hua Hin for 250 baht a night.
$250 a month.
A month.
Well, 250 baht a
Yeah,
night.
a
What about
day.
monthly rent?
I think we got a friend that lives down near Kautoki up near the beach, and I think he's paying 7,000 baht a month.
I saw one for 8 that I
Yeah.
did a little video about.
Yeah, so you can find places that, and they're still clean, and it's got air conditioning in the place. I think it's 7,000 baht. I think he's paying per month, and I think he's because he got a 1 year. He took a 1 year lease on it. So the longer you do it, the better negotiation power you have for rent.
Yeah, you can bring the rent down a little bit.
Like even homes, you can rent we had a friend from Quebec. He's just building a house up in the farm village, and he was renting a really nice 3-bedroom home, in-ground swimming pool, for about 25,000 baht a month, which is still, I mean, it was a beautiful home. In Vancouver, it would cost you 4,000 a month. Here, it was about 800 a month. So, and again, it's all relative.
Now, your home is very beautiful. This is a 3-bedroom?
3-bedroom, yeah, 4 bathrooms.
3-bedroom, 4 bath.
Yeah,
so every bedroom has its own bathroom, plus you have a common bathroom.
Yeah, there's a common bathroom for the swimming pool.
Yeah, you have the swimming pool area.
We're on about just over a half a rai of land here.
Half a rai.
Yeah.
Now, just as you don't have to be specific, but you said you bought this 7 years ago?
Yeah.
What was the cost 7 years ago, and what would the cost be of something like this today?
Very little change.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like houses here, like freestanding houses, the prices haven't moved up very much at all. Maybe in 7 years, it's probably gone up maybe 10%.
Okay, so now with a 3-bedroom, say 3-bedroom, 3-bath, and 3-bedroom, 4-bath with a swimming pool, now what would it cost?
You can
in a decent neighborhood.
You can get them as low as 8 million to 25 million, but it depends on the neighbor. Like these ones in here will run you 10 to 12 million, which is not. When you look at the home, it's a very inexpensive for what you get.
For which you got a beautiful home. I got a friend of mine in Pattaya who is in a well-known residential area, and he bought pre-construction on the home, and I think he paid 4 million baht for this thing. And it's got underground playroom or office.
Oh, that's unusual.
The windows look into the swimming pool underground,
that's unusual.
and a waterfall in the corner. You know, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. And so he bought that pre-construction and got a really great deal.
But it's really like here, like condo prices have gone up probably 2 times. When we came here, you probably found a really nice condo for 2-bedroom, say 130 square meters, for probably 3.5, 4 million. That'll run you 9 to 12 million now.
Interesting.
And so the condo prices have gone way up, but the house prices.
And some of that's because foreigners can own condominiums, so there's that supply and demand.
And apparently here now as well, a lot because of the last major flooding in Bangkok. A lot of Thai people are coming here to buy as well. So it's, I mean, the nice thing, once you buy, if you buy a place, like, I mean, foreigners can buy a house as well. You form a Thai company, and as you know, and the nice thing here, like, the property taxes are almost non-existent.
Yeah. People ask me about, what's the taxes or condo administration fees and stuff, and I say, don't even enter that into the equation. It's so cheap, you don't even worry about it.
And I tell people back in Vancouver how much my property taxes here. Like our taxes here are actually 150 baht per year.
Oh my God!
So that's about $5.
It's not even worth speaking about.
No, it's $5. It's going out and buying 2 coffees at Starbucks.
Yeah, it's a joke. Speaking of costs, let me ask you something. I don't know if you can answer this, and your wife left, so I can't ask her. I was hoping to ask her before we ended.
Molly, where are you?
I think I heard her take off on the bike or something.
No, I think that was Zach.
Oh.
Yeah.
You might be able to answer the question. Transportation in town. If somebody comes to visit, oh, there you are. If somebody comes to visit Hua Hin and they need to get around the city, I've noticed there's 3 forms of public transportation. We have the song taos, which are different colors, song tao, tuk-tuks, and the motorcycle taxi. What are the costs to get around town on a song tao?
Song town. Song town is mean what?
Song tao.
The green.
God, my tie is that bad. I'm embarrassed.
What green?
Road song tao.
Rốt song thảo.
Tar right, come.
10 baht.
10 baht long. Yeah, 10 baht for foreigners, 20 baht.
Yeah,
10 baht for Thai people, 20 baht for foreigners.
Yeah, but they have those ones are here. I think the same thing in Cham. They're green pickup trucks.
Yeah, they're 2 bench seats in the back.
2 bench seats. But they also have
Thảo,ไม่ใช่สองเท้า
they also have a bus that goes by here too, don't they? What's that one? Orange bus.
ปานบุรีหัวหิน
How much is that? Do you know?
I never use
Yeah, okay.
About 20 baht.
Yeah.
How about motorcycle taxis?
depending
taxi. How far?
how far.
Negotiating about to get from, say, the mall to here.
The mall to here about 60 baht.
60 baht.
Which is still a lot.
But you're pretty far away from the mall.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
five
probably-
kilometers.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That gives us a perspective
Yeah.
on that. And I see tuk-tuk.
Tuk-tuk, we use a lot, 150 baht from downtown to here.
Okay, again, 5 kilometers,
Yeah.
150. Like, great. That
Yeah.
gives people a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate
the
that.
cost here is, I think it's about double of what it is in Bangkok. Like you can get a tuk-tuk in Bangkok for, what, 40, 50 baht. That'll take you the same distance, where here it'll cost you, well, depending on the tuk-tuk, sometimes they want 200 or 250.
Yeah, and
but you
sometimes
can-
it depends on the type of person negotiating,
Yeah.
you know? Just like song ties,
Yeah.
I tell people, know what it is before you get in, ask a Thai person, how much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
And then just get in, don't talk to the driver, get out, walk around, always to the passenger side. I try and reiterate that
Yeah.
all the way so you don't go out in the traffic
Exactly.
to pay at the window.
Yeah.
You want to be on the
give 'em
sidewalk
what-
side and just reach in and give them the money.
Yeah.
And they know you know how much it
Yeah,
is, and it's
yeah.
not a negotiation.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good approach.
If
yeah.
you don't know, then you sort of have to figure out what you're willing to pay and then see if they'll
Yeah.
go for that much money and do it that way. But
But I mean, the transportation is not great here. I mean, you say you got the motorbike taxi and the tuk-tuks and the green bus trucks, and they come, I think, down along Kautuki up. I think they come every 30 minutes.
yeah, now see, you're in a little bit a different situation than somebody that's in town because
Yeah.
you're out just a little bit further. So
Yeah.
there's going to be less traffic for those local transportations out here.
Exactly.
They want to run around inside the city and
Yeah,
get those a
Yeah,
lot of
well,
those small
yeah.
fares over and over again.
Yeah, and I think when you're going short distance, the little motorbike taxis are
The way to go.
Because especially during the long weekends there, when you get a lot of traffic,
You
they
get there
just zip
quick.
in and out, and yeah,
You don't get stuck.
you don't get stuck in the traffic, and so it's
Speaking of that, and I want to mention this, I'm going to do a video. I actually going to mention it in my closing video and also about going to Pattaya from here, back and forth. I got stopped on the way here for the interview, the little checkpoint.
Oh, by the police.
And it used to be you only got a checkpoint for helmets.
Yeah.
And now they're going to check for anything they can give you a ticket for.
Yeah, exactly.
When they flagged me over, I said, "What are you stopping me for?" I got a helmet on, I got my light on. What's the deal? License. And I showed them my light. Okay, go. But it's open season
Oh,
here.
yeah, it is for
In
for
Pattaya,
foreign-
I've noticed this, and here I've noticed this. I've actually talked to somebody that they said they got stopped for DUI here.
Oh, is that right? Never heard of that. Really?
Where the
Wow.
bar area is, they were
Yeah.
out on the main road, and they were stopping foreigners as they came out, and because it's prime target,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
So be very careful. And I'll talk about that in another video.
Yeah,
about
no, you're
getting
right.
licenses
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make sure that you're covered when
Yeah.
you get here, so there's no opportunity
Yeah.
for them to get the money.
Because right in front of the big mall here, the police are always there because there's a school letting people come out. But a lot of times, as you go through, you've got to slow down, and sometimes they ask you for your driver's license. I don't have a Thai driver's license. I have an international, so I get it renewed every year, and you show them the driver's license.
Yeah, I talk about that on the membership site about getting
Yeah.
the international driver's license.
Yeah, you should, always get an international driver's license when you come here, because you're covered.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to cost you a few
I'm
hundred
surprised you
bucks.
don't have a Thai driver's license.
Well,
Shame on you.
Well, we went down a while ago, and they want a whole bunch of documentation, and we haven't gone back yet. But
But as long as you have the international, you're good to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And have they ever questioned it when you pulled that out and showed it to them?
no,
Good.
no, we've had. Well, I've gotten a few tickets here, but it's only because of her. In Bangkok, I remember, 2 years ago, we're coming down, and we're going to turn right to go up on the expressway, and the light's sort of amber and it goes red, and she's just keep going, and on the other side there's a police officer over there waves me in. And so do you do all your own editing and everything?
Yeah, I do all my own editing. And it's funny because people say, You know, I interrupt people speaking too much. I'm going, well, we have a limited amount of memory, we have a limited amount of battery, and obviously we got cut off, and I'm going to have to edit, find out where's a good place to edit, so we missed some of our stories and stuff there. Yeah, there's only so much we can do, so I got to try and keep people on point of getting some of that information.
You got a specific amount of things that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I want to cover, and we only have a certain amount of availability of resources as far as memory, and also it's a lot to upload long videos and stuff. But I always try and get as much information as possible to give people a good sense of what it's like.
If you have any other questions on Hua Hin, like I said, we've been here now, we've been coming here for 10 years, and we've been living here for 6, and so we know the area, I think, fairly well, and like for people that come here, there's lots and lots of, like you can spend 2 weeks here and have something different to do every day. I mean, you got the Monkey Mountain, Kautucky up, you got only about 1.5 kilometers from here, there's an elephant camp. You go down, they have elephant shows, you can do elephant riding. You go down a little farther south, you got the mangrove forest. You go out. You got Hoi Kun. You got the teak palace. I mean, it goes on and on. There's many tourist things that you can do here. Well, we got the two. I don't know if you ever gone to 2 floating markets.
No, I'd like to see one of the floating markets. But most of the stuff that I do isn't for the. You know, it's cool to do that one time. You know. But really, it's about living here, you know? Because anybody can come over. And also, that's not representative of what the cost is to live here. You know, you go do that, it's inordinately expensive because it's for tourists.
Yeah,
so,
well, but most of these, all the ones that I mentioned are all free.
The floating market's free?
The floating market's free,
yeah. Teak Palace?
Teak Palace is free.
Teak Palace, 30 baht.
Oh, yeah, if you go in,
that's okay.
That certain part of it, yeah. And but all the things, like you go out to Hoi Kun, which is the biggest sitting monk in the world. It's a really big statue. You know, the mangrove forest is really neat to walk through, especially when the tide's gone out and you get all the little sea creatures and everything. And you can do a long tail boat ride down the river for, I think, 300 baht for a whole boatload of people. So it's not, they're very, I mean, if you live here, I think you should look around and see what all the different things are to do. And if you like biking, I mean, the beaches are absolutely, like when the tide is out, it's spectacular for bike riding. If you got a mountain bike with large tires, you can go for, 50, 60.
I've never seen anybody mountain biking out there on the beach.
Yeah, we got a mountain bike, and you go down on the beach when the tide's out. You can hum along at 30 kilometers an hour.
Really?
No problem at all. Yeah, because the beach.
You're staying in pretty good shape. That's not just from playing golf.
No,
you say you jog, right?
I jog and
bike riding.
Bike riding. We got a bicycle trip coming up, and we're actually doing northern Oregon down to California.
Oh, wow.
First week in September.
So you're seriously into biking?
Oh, yeah, we do. We try to do a bike trip every year.
Oh, that's great.
And when I'm in Vancouver in the wintertime, I do long track and short track speed skating, and
wow.
So I keep active. I run 10, 12 kilometers every day. And
any warning for people to come over here and become a fixture at the bar on the stool?
Yeah, well,
you don't know anybody like that, do you?
No, we don't. I mean, we don't.
You don't associate with those people.
I'm sure some of the golfers we have, like we go down the Hua Hin Golf Society, which is a great society. They got about, I think, 230, 240 members. And you go down to, it's called Bernie's Bar. He's the one that organizes everything. You go down there, and a lot of times you see the regular people there that
there's an imprint from their wallet in the seat from where they've been sitting in the same seat every day.
So there are.
Speaking of golf, and I want to help you all out as well, because your wife has a business that's related to golf. Is that correct? Because when I walked up, there was somebody leaving, and they had some putters that I was looking at that were very cool. What is actually the business that you have?
Actually, it's a combination. We actually started, Lee used to work in the Thai silk industry in Bangkok for how many, 20 years, sweetheart?
20 years.
And since we moved from Bangkok to here, 6 years ago, she hasn't worked, and she gets a little bored.
Sure.
So I said, well, let's start a golf vacation company.
No, cool.
here in Thailand and attract people from North America
Sure.
for golf vacations to come over. And we got the company started about 9 months ago.
What's the name of the company?
Tropical Golf Vacations.
And is there a website?
Yes, there's a website. It's tropicalgolfvacations.com.
Okay, tropicalgolfvacations.com.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
And but we were at a trade show in Vancouver the first week in March. As our first time to expose the company in Vancouver to see if we can attract the first group. And the booth beside us was a guy with these golf putters. And Molly and I bought one, brought them back, and within a month we loved them. And we said, well, you know, what do we do to become the exclusive distributor for these golf putters in Thailand? He said, just sign here.
Yeah, so anybody living in Thailand
Yeah.
and is interested, it's a very cool putter. It would really keep you over the ball, straight over the
Absolutely,
ball.
yeah.
I mean, it's cool. They should contact y'all about that as well. And they're not expensive either, so
No,
it's
exactly.
very cool.
And so they're doing a lot of work now, trying to attract, get into the pro shops at the different golf courses and some of the golf shops. It's on sale at the golf shop here in Hua Hin, called the Hua Hin golf shop. And
Did you get people to come over on the tour from doing the show?
not well, we're hoping to get the first group, hopefully October, November.
Well, hopefully people watching this
Yeah,
are golfers.
well,
It would be a great
Yeah.
opportunity. The
It's-
way I see it
yeah.
is, if they're golfers and they're thinking about coming over to live, to come do a golf vacation, stay in some place like this, go play golf, but also stay long enough where they get a feel for what it would be like to
Yeah.
live here. Plus, the cool thing about golf always has been networking.
Yeah, it is.
And so to be out on the course with other people, they're going to
Yeah.
meet people and sort of develop that social network
Yeah.
before they ever even got here
Yeah,
to live. I think that's
and
really
if,
great.
and if they do live here and they like golfing, like I said, the Hua Hin Golf Society is mostly well, there's Thai people as well, but it's mostly foreigners from Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, U.S. It's a very wide range of individuals, and they golf every Tuesdays and Fridays, and they get half price off the golf fees.
Wow,
And lots of great networking. You make lots of friends and everything. So it's a great way if you come here on retirement and you like golfing. It's a great way to meet people, and
Cool.
it's because there's a lot of good golfers, including ourselves, right?
I wish I could group myself into that group, but I got to get out. I keep saying I'm gonna,
we only golf about 3 or 4 times.
I love the game.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a great. And it is.
what
It's
hooked me one time is I was out on the fairway and accidentally, from about 150 yards, put it in the hole.
Oh, did you?
Hold out the hole, and it was
that's
like
good.
that was it,
Yeah.
you know. And a couple long putts, you know.
Yeah.
You watch and you go, I can play this game. Yeah, right.
No, that's true, and that's what keeps you coming back.
That's right.
Yeah, we've been golfing. When did we start golfing? It'll be is it 3 years in December or 4 years? 4 years in December, I think.
Wow.
And
How often do you play? Because every time I've called you to try and do this interview,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to be playing golf, and so.
Well, we golf twice a week with the society, and we try to get out probably 2 other times at some of the golf courses. So I would golf every day of the week. Like I still have a company in Vancouver. I'm still working as well. I get up in the morning because everything is done via the internet. I spend 3 or 4 hours answering emails, making phone calls, and then we get the whole day together to do things.
That's what I've always tried to encourage people to do,
Yeah.
you know, is 2 things. Stay active,
Yeah.
you know, which is really important when you're over there. And also try and develop a business that you can do from here
Yeah, yeah.
and derive the money overseas and bring the money
Yeah.
over instead
Yeah.
of trying to work here and operate
Yeah,
a business. It's okay, it's great for Thai people,
Yeah, yeah.
but for us it's very difficult.
It is
It's
very
done
difficult.
intentionally
Yeah.
to keep the business in the hands of Thai people,
Yeah.
so I don't scream and yell about it.
Yeah, no, it
just
is
like,
difficult for foreigners.
yeah.
And and then we go out and have dinner, and we'll come home. We'll spend another
tough
3 or 4 hours.
life,
Oh, it is
Harvey.
tough life. Yeah.
I don't see
And I
how
have
you
to do that
There's
every day.
people probably crying back home, so I pity this guy. Oh my God, what a life. Oh. Anyway, so our memory card, first it was a battery, now it's a memory card. This is why I keep these things short and I interrupt people, is because I need to not have to be paying attention. You know, when I get hired on by the Travel Channel or something, and we have the full crew.
That's right. You don't have to worry about
And
that.
this is called the skeleton crew. Then I have to sort of watch everything and pay attention. Sometimes I get carried away with our conversation and don't pay attention until I look over and go, hey,
Hey, what happened?
what happened? We ran out of something, you know, and this time it was the memory. But anyway, again, I want to thank you all for being such great hosts and for the information and opening up your life and, you know, sharing with us.
Oh, yeah, you're more than welcome. And if you have any other questions or anybody wants to contact us as well, we're, you know, anybody interested coming for a holiday or looking for a retirement place, great place to live.
Yeah, and I hope they'll contact you all to come over and do some golfing as well.
Well, we look
because I
forward to
think it's a
that,
perfect opportunity, a good reason, you know, if anybody needs a good reason.
Yeah, the tropical golf vacation is a great way to have a really nice, relaxing 2 weeks in the middle of winter.
Well, you know, there's some cultures and countries that are close by, including Japan, that they can come over here, stay for a week, play golf every day for less than it costs them to go play golf one day back home.
I know. It's both Korea and Japan, I think, are like that. And it's very expensive. I know I did some business in Japan, it was many years ago now, and the guy said, well, do you golf? I said, well, I sort of know about golf. And and they took me out, and this is now, this must have been 20 years ago, and it was $600 per person U.S. for one round of golf.
Wow.
And it wasn't even a nice golf course.
Wow, unbelievable.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that. It's just very expensive in some of these countries, and unfortunately, Thailand the golf is getting a little more expensive, but still, you get great courses for.
I better take it up quick. Huh?
Yeah. Well, you can go down to the Dolphin Bay. Like I say, for 50 baht, you can do 9 holes, and the nice thing there is every hole's got water, but they have. You can buy a bag of balls. I think there's 25 balls, and it costs you 10 baht.
Yeah, they were scooped out of the water from people playing like me.
So they follow you around. I think to
sell you another bag.
so you don't use your good balls. You just use their balls.
I like this place.
It's just like donating 10 baht every 9 holes, and you hit them in the water. They go out and retrieve them.
Or bring your own snorkel and fins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Well, thanks again so much.
You're
It's
very
been a
welcome,
pleasure to
JC.
meet you. It's been a pleasure to meet both of you all and have this conversation and hang out at your house for a short time.
and we'll go out for lunch and to one of our local little Thai restaurants and have a Thai dish.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay.
All right, take
Yeah.
care. And I always finish all my videos, you know, I tell people that no matter what's happening back home or how things sometimes bleak they appear, that there's always an option.
Yeah.
And so no matter
Exactly.
what's happening in somebody's life or whatever's going on, no matter if they're here or at home, always keep that in mind that, you know, there's more than one way to see things. So always
Yeah.
look for what the
So
options are.
That's so true.
All right,
That's
so
true.
you take care. Thanks
Okay,
again. And
Thanks,
ขอบ
JC.
คุณค่ะ
Okay.
JC, Harvey, and Mali signing off. Take care.
Take care. Okay, let's go for lunch.